Hello and welcome to my final project for CS50, Timetable. Timetable is a web-based application using the Flaskframework. Timetable can, as you might have guessed, generate timetables for you based on given inputs. As you can see, each user has its own instance, as you can register and log in, and that's what I'm going to do right now because I already set up an account for us. That's our nice little starting page here with the README, but that's not what we're really after right now. Let's say we want to create a new table. The first step we would take is going over here to employees and to workforce to take a look at the workforce. As you see, I already added some employees to my workforce, but let's say you start a new or you just want to add a new employee, you would enter his or her name, the work hours they work, and you could also add them into a team. In general, this is a nice little overview over your employees, as you can see how long or how much they work and in which team they are. You can also easily remove them if need be. Let's take a look at teams. I already mentioned them, but let's take a further look. So, as you can see, I organized some of my employees into different teams, two to be precise. That just helps to organize them a little bit and to have a better overview. But what they are really useful for, I will show you later. But as you can see, it's quite easy to create a new team, to add employees to an existing team, to remove members if necessary, or to even delete the whole team. Okay, but let's take a look at shifts next. Shifts are quite interesting because you might expect that Timetable requires you to use a predefined set of shifts or shift systems, but that is not the case. You are free to totally customize and create your own shifts. For example, I created a three shift system with an early shift, a late shift, and a night shift. Each go 8 hours, and early and late shift require 2 employees to work them, and the night shift only requires 1 employee to work it. This gives you total freedom and is a great advantage of using Timetable. Okay, but now let's take a look at templates. Templates are basically a collection of settings. They can be used to modify the behavior or the generation of the tables created. Let's say I want to create a new template, I would obviously enter a name, and then I have the option to, with ticking this option, to decide that, for example, I don't want that an early shift follows after an early shift. I can do that with any shift I created, and that makes sure that the defined shift here will not, or after this shift, will not follow this shift. How this plays out, we can take a look at a moment when I create a new table. As you can see, I can choose a template, and I'm going to choose no early shift follow-up because that does exactly what I told. No early shift will follow after an early shift. And now, for demonstration's sake, I will also choose a team. If I choose a team, only the employees who are part or members of the set team will be used to generate the table. Now we only have to generate a starting and an ending date and maximum overtime, which is basically the overtime that each employee is allowed to accumulate before they will never be used in the table again. And here we are. I generated a little table for us. As you can see, night shift is not filled. Why is that? Well, I used a team that only has, I think, 4 members, and that's not enough to fill a whole day. And you can also see that maybe the shift system itself, or the shift structure is not ideal because I decided that after an early shift, there cannot be another early shift, and this system did exactly that. But now let's take a look at what happens if I omit the template and the team and just choose another starting and ending date. And again, a maximum overtime of 0. And we get a little notification that we skipped the template and employees, teams. And as we can see, now night shift is filled because we use all employees, as you can see right here. And we can also see that now early shift can follow after early shift. So as you can see, the templates are a good way to decide how the table should be generated or to influence it, and choose teams are a good way to decide which employees are used to generate said table. Okay, let's say I'm satisfied with the result and I would like to save it. That's quite easily done. We just enter the name of the table, or we like to have it, or how we like to name it, and we hit save, and we successfully saved the table into our database, and now we can easily access it again. We just choose the table again, hit load, and we can see, okay, we didn't use a template, so there's no template information, but here we are, our global table and business table, which we call demo. Okay, let's say I am not satisfied with the result, or I don't need it anymore. I can easily just choose demo again, here, down here, and hit delete table permanently, and wait a moment, and it's gone. Just to double check, yep, it's gone, we can't choose it anymore. Okay, as a final step, I'd like to show you how the responsiveness of Timetable. As you can see, it's quite easily usable on smaller devices as well. Because, let's take a look, if we shrink it, the table transforms in a way that it's much easier to read on, let's say, a smartphone or even a tablet. We can also still navigate the website by using this little hamburger menu. It's the same as the navigation menu we saw before, but in a form that's easier to use for smartphones. Let's say we like to log out, and voila, we successfully logged out. That was Timetable for you. I hope you enjoy watching.